never died down. People write to us, people ask for the show to restart again. Hence, we are beginning the show once again on All Z Network, also on WION, which is the global network channel from India. Again, thank you for your love and affection. See you soon at Subhash Chandra Show.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch. WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide, because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
Hello and welcome, I'm Ananya Datta and this is the edition of Race to Power. Let's start talking about people, power and politics. Our big focus tonight is on the US presidential debate. We get you everything, how the two candidates are preparing, what are the rules and how the voters are feeling in one of the most important elections in US history. Also about 10 days to go for elections in Sri Lanka, and amid the political bickering, the voters are making their demands heard. We tell you from a report on the ground. In less than 12 hours from now, the US presidential debate is about to begin. Even if Donald Trump is obsessed with crowd size and Kamala Harris is used to talking over as a senator, both will not be allowed to do either. And that brings us to tell you what we know about the debate. The 90-minute debate will be held at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. It is scheduled for 9 p.m. local time at ABC News Network. And no live audience will be allowed this time. Microphones will not be hot throughout the debate and they will be on during speaker's turn and muted when the other candidate is speaking. Now, this was a bone of contention, remember, for weeks as Harris was hoping to get the mic switched on throughout. None of them will be allowed to carry any props or pre-written notes. They will be given a pen, a notepad and a bottle of water. Neither will be allowed to interact with campaign staffers during commercial breaks. Trump won a virtual coin flip, so he has chosen to give the last closing statement, and that means that Kamala Harris will be standing on the right side of the screen. Neither is permitted to step away from their lecterns. Now, ABC World News Tonight anchors David Moore and Lindsay Davis will be the moderators. All rules have been kept the same as the first presidential debate when Donald Trump and then Democratic candidate Joe Biden took the stage in June. And the primetime duel on ABC News will be their first and probably the only time Harris and Trump will take the stage.
Mala mentioned my name, I think, 21 times. She didn't mention the border. She didn't mention inflation. She didn't mention anything but my name over it.
To tell us what's happening on the ground, our correspondent Susan Tehrani is joining us live from New York. And for some perspective, Richie Greenberg is coming live from San Francisco. He's a political commentator and former candidate for the city's mayor. Both of you, thank you so much for joining us here on WION. Susan, if I could quickly start with you. We are hearing that both candidates are preparing very differently. What are you hearing from both the camps?
Kamala Harris has been hunkered down in Pennsylvania since last Thursday, preparing for this debate. We learned that she's talking with people like Hillary Clinton, the former Secretary of State, who was also a Trump rival back in 2016. She's also talking to people like Chris Christie, who's a Republican, who had shared the stage with Donald Trump again during the previous election, and also was part of the mock debates with Donald Trump as well. In terms of the former president, we do know that Tulsi Gabbard has been talking to President Trump. She has been sort of preparing him because she was very successful in countering a lot of Kamala Harris's positions when she was on the same stage as her during the time that she was a Democrat and running for president. So it'll be interesting to see these preparations, although it appears Harris is preparing a lot more, how they're going to play out tonight on ABC during that debate.
All right, Mr. Greenberg, if you could quickly come in, do you think the focus of the debate would be the independent voters, and what are they looking for from both the nominees?
Yes, I agree. It would be the independent voters, because a long time ago, the moment that we knew who the two final candidates were going to be, Mr. Trump or Kamala Harris, that already there sets up a division between the Democrats and the Republicans. It's not like we're going to have many who are going to change their party allegiance from one to the other. That's just the way it seems to be. So yes, it would be the independent voters, but we also do have here in the United States, we have very small contingency of other types of voters. We have a Green Party, libertarians. So they also will then line up with who they're favored, that would be favored by their party platform. So yes, the independent voters, especially those that are in the swing states, those particular few states here in America that are undecided, but they become a very crucial key role in whether or not their votes would then back one over the other. And that's where the emphasis is going to be.
All right, you make a very important point there. Both of us, please stay with us as we talk about the numbers right now. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are locked in an extremely tight contest heading into their first debate. So let's get you the latest opinion polls that we have for you. A polling average by 538 on ABC News suggests that Democratic nominee is ahead by 3 percentage points. Since President Biden's exit, remember, Harris has turned around the opinion polls. And this also comes a day after, interestingly, the New York Times and CNN poll that showed that Trump was leading Harris nationally for the very first time in a few weeks, especially since the two conventions. All right, Mr. Greenberg, if I could quickly come back to you, I want to ask you, do you think this debate that we're going to see in Philadelphia might be actually more consequential for Kamala Harris than Donald Trump?
Well, that's absolutely true, of course. And this goes on the heels of having that disastrous debate with Joe Biden, and that, as we all know, was the impetus for him to basically drop out. So now this is going to be the first face-off between Trump and Harris. It's going to be absolutely crucial, critical. How can she handle herself? How does he handle himself? Because we all know he has a very brash type of attitude and how he addresses all the issues. So it's going to be critical, very critical.
All right, and with the numbers being neck and neck, that will be something we'll be looking forward to. Stay with us. We have some reactions coming in from American voters ahead of the debate.
And it's split 50-50. This debate is really tight, and they're both very strong candidates.
I think Kamala should be genuine in the way she responded.
One of the biggest things I'll just be looking to hear from her is what, just sort of like what she's going to do about what's going on in Gaza.
Trump is Trump, so I like him because he, you know, he's very outspoken, so we know what to expect from Trump.
That's what we're talking about for a debate, entertainment. That's where we are as a country, in my opinion.
She didn't mention inflation.
Susan, if I could come to you, what do you hear around you? Over the years, do the American voters actually look forward to such kind of a debate, and how much of it actually influences them, what they do on November 5th?
Yeah, debates are important, not only because of the theatrics and the mannerism of the candidates, but also because to a certain extent, voters get an understanding about policy. And we know now, because of that New York Times Siena poll that you mentioned, not only 365 with Nate Silver and others, that Kamala Harris and her camp need to solidify her policies, and more Americans want to know more about who she is, where she stands on different issues, and how much she's distancing herself from President Joe Biden, because she's offering herself as being the candidate of change. That's going to be challenging for her, and a lot of voters are going to be listening for that. More or less, they know where Donald Trump stands on a lot of issues, but nonetheless, you know, since this is the only debate we're probably going to be getting between the two, and this has been an extraordinary election cycle, I think a lot of people are going to be looking forward to this compared to even previous ones that were popular, sure.
Right. Mr. Greenberg, every single presidential debates that we see, there are always some bits that stick around even after the debates. For example, be that Donald Trump's name calling, or Kamala Harris's I'm talking, sir, or Joe Biden's will you shut up, man. These are things that really stick with the voters. What are you looking for this time?
Well, what I'm looking for, interestingly, is to see what can Kamala Harris do in terms of distancing herself from previous situations where she was looked at as being just a facade, where she was silent on pretty much all of the issues. We all want to know what she thinks, what she proposes. Finally, yesterday, her website was updated to give answers. As has been said, we know pretty much where Trump comes from. We know his mannerisms. We know what his views are, because he's constantly interviewed. He's constantly in the news making his statements or short little snippets, and Kamala Harris has been virtually silent. So this is what's really important. We all want to know what she says. We all want to know her mannerisms, because that is what the debate is. And I might add, I'm disappointed, as are a lot of people disappointed, that there are not, and probably are not going to be any more debates between the two of them. We still have a substantial amount of time. And early voting is going to start by mail or in person within the next few weeks, if not already. And it is crucial to hear how they interact with each other. And as it's been said, it is entertainment.
All right, Mr. Greenberg, Susan, thank you so much for all those insights and updates. Good to speak to both of you.
Thank you.
All right, let's shift focus now. In Pakistan, jailed ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan's party is creating waves as it clashes with the ruling authorities, demanding the release of their party founder. In response, the Islamabad police arrested several top leaders of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party following a National Assembly session on Monday. As per the latest, Pakistan lawmaker Shibzada Hamid Raza has alleged that the chairperson of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, Gohar Ali Khan, was arrested from within the premises of the parliament.
जिस एफआईआर में ये लोगों को पकड़ने आए थे उसमें 4 लोग नामजद हैं सर, वो चारों लोगों में से सिर्फ बैरिस्टर गौहर साहब को, चेयरमैन को, और उसको भी सर कैसे गिरफ्तार किया गया चेयरमैन को, कि चेयरमैन साहब की गाड़ी आधी पार्लियामेंट की हदूद के अंदर थी, आधी पार्लियामेंट की हदूद के बाहर थी। मकसद ये कि वो अभी तक पार्लियामेंट की हदूद में थे, लेकिन उन्हें गिरफ्तार करके ले जाया गया। और फिर जिन ऑनरेबल अरकान को ले जाया गया, किसी को सर गर्दन से उठा के फेंका। यार, एक बंदा गाड़ी में से निकल के आपसे कह रहा है कि मुझे बताएं मैंने किस गाड़ी में बैठना है, मैं आपके साथ बैठता हूं, आप उसे कॉलर से पकड़ के खींच रहे हैं सर।
Speaker Ayaz Sadiq has called for the CCTV footage, claiming that he would be filing an FIR if misconduct was found. At least 8 MPs affiliated to the PTI were arrested, including 4 from within parliament premises. The arrested leaders include Barrister Gauhar Khan, Sher Afzal Marwat, Zubair Khan and Imran Khan spokesperson Shoaib Shaheen. According to police, Marwat was the first to be taken into custody for violating the peaceful assembly and public order, while Zubair Khan was arrested overnight as he was exiting the parliament premises. A total of 28 PTI leaders have been booked in this connection. The arrests took place after a violent clash between PTI supporters and police during a protest demanding former Prime Minister Imran Khan's release. PTI has condemned the arrests as politically motivated, calling the crackdown a direct attack on democracy. The party accused the police of carrying out illegal orders, arguing that the arrests are an attempt to suppress their movement. It said that the state actions have proved that it is afraid of Imran Khan and his supporters. Despite police crackdown, many PTI lawmakers remained inside National Assembly to avoid arrests, and more detentions are expected in the coming days. PTI had planned a rally in Islamabad on 8th of September in support of Imran Khan, and on Sunday night, however, police clashed with PTI supporters after they refused to stick to the designated routes for the public gathering. Amid tensions, PTI supporters started pelting stones at the police force, and in response, the policemen resorted to baton charge and tear gas shelling, arresting dozens of protesters. Also, to get us the latest, our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik is joining us live from Islamabad. Anas, good to see you. What is the latest you can tell us?
Well, the latest is that the building behind me has seen one of its darkest days yesterday, when last night law enforcement personnel entered and barged, which has now been proven through CCTV footage that lawmakers were arrested from inside this very parliament building. This has never happened even in dictatorships previously. That being said, Barrister Gauhar, the chairperson of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, has been discharged from the case by the police. He's now been released, whereas other 8 PTI leaders have now been sent on a physical remand, whereas Shoaib Shaheen, who is not a lawmaker but a spokesperson of Imran Khan, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chairperson, he has been sent on a judicial remand. Ananya?
All right, Anas, thank you so much for getting us all those updates from Islamabad. The countdown for elections in Sri Lanka has begun. It's just over 2 weeks and the country will vote to elect a president for the first time since the 2022 economic meltdown. And that precisely is the issue on voters' minds. For over 2 years, the country has been struggling with debt restructuring and curtailing inflation. Listen into what voters and experts in Sri Lanka have to say.
For this election, I hope I will be able to get a new house. We have asked for a new house since there are 2 families living in the same house, but I do not have much hope.
We are suffering. We haven't been able to sleep. It is very difficult for people. We try to go abroad because we can't live here. We are spending a lot of money to get our passports.
So, this is what this whole election is about. There's a significant number of voters who are trying to send a strong message to the established political parties that they are very disappointed the way this country has been governed since independence.
Now, correspondent Dasunya Thauda has more on this from Colombo.
With less than 2 weeks to go for Sri Lanka's all-important presidential election,
voter fatigue amongst a faction of the public is quite palpable, especially in the backdrop where they are experiencing heavy burdens as a result of high costs of living. At the same time, caution persists regarding the proposed changes by other candidates and their feasibility, especially at a time where Sri Lanka is constricted to the IMF policies. Reporting for WION World is one from Colombo. I am Dasuni Atalda.
We're now shifting focus to West Asia. Voting is currently underway for parliamentary elections in Jordan, and this is the first election since a new law was passed back in 2022 to allow more diverse representation in the parliament. The voting process so far has been peaceful, as stated by several international observers who are currently in Jordan to supervise the process. Election officials and political parties are hoping for a better turnout this time, as compared to the dismal 29% voter participation back in 2020. The voting process began at 7 a.m. local time this morning and will close at 7 in the evening. Locals who are coming to cast their ballots have highlighted several issues that are key in this election. Take a look.
The situation here, frankly, is going from bad to worse in terms of job opportunities, which are very basic and wages are low, with long working hours of up to 9 or 10 hours. There are problems in the education and health sectors, and there are problems on the economic side too.
This is a very critical stage for the entire Arab world, and Jordan, the West Bank and Gaza in particular, so we must choose the best.
Let's go across to India now. Agitating doctors in West Bengal's capital of Kolkata have not ended their strike, and this despite the Supreme Court's order on Monday that doctors must return to work by Tuesday 5 p.m. We are now more than 3 hours past that deadline. Meanwhile, the mother of the victim has hit back at the Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee, for saying that the parents of the victim were never offered money. The junior doctors and medical staffers have been on streets since August 9th, when the incident of rape and murder of a trainee doctor at the RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital came to light. The striking junior doctors have said that they will take out a rally to the headquarters of the health department. The doctors are demanding the resignation of the state's health secretary and director of health education. Just on Monday, the Supreme Court had asked the protesting doctors to return to work, telling them that no adverse action will be taken against them if doctors return to work by 5 p.m. on Tuesday. That deadline is over. However, the top court cautioned doctors that continuous abstention from work may result in disciplinary action. The court also asked the Central Bureau of Investigation, who is probing the case, to file a fresh status report. Appearing for the CBI, Solicitor General of India, Tushar Mehta, said that the central agency had decided to send samples collected from the crime scene to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Delhi, saying the victim was first found in semi-naked condition. The CBI said that who collected the samples has emerged as a relevant question in the probe. The samples were sent to CFSL in West Bengal after being collected. In another story of rash driving and VIP culture in India, multiple vehicles were rammed by an Audi in the state of Maharashtra. The car, reportedly owned by Sanket Bhavankhole, son of state's BJP chief Chandrasekhar Bhavankhole, was on the way back from a bar in Nagpur district. According to reports, the incident took place an hour past midnight on Monday, when the Audi car struck several vehicles, including a moped that injured 2 people. Police have managed to arrest 2 people, while the remaining 3 occupants of the car, including Sanket Bhavankhole, fled the scene. Preliminary reports suggest that the two arrested were in highly intoxicated state at the time of the accident, and so far no action has been taken against the BJP leader's son. However, his father said that the police should conduct a fair investigation and no one should be treated differently. He also added that the car is in the name of his son, Sanket. Our correspondent Disha Shah has a report from Mumbai.
The police today have confirmed that Sanket wasn't the one driving the car, but it was his friend, and two people have been arrested in this case, excluding Sanket. The cases have been registered against the two of his friends, one who was driving the car and one who was sitting next to him. Allegedly, both of them were under the influence of alcohol, and this is what the medical examinations have confirmed today after the reports have come back. And now the police is trying to investigate several aspects in this case, including Sanket's involvement, because allegedly he and two of his other friends fled the scene immediately after the accident. So now they are trying to trace that entire CCTV footage of what exactly happened, that entire route.
Shifting focus to Israel, where Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is making headlines again, but it is not what you think. The leader is the subject of a film that was screened at Toronto International Film Festival, and it is currently underway in Canada. The feature is called The Bibi Files. The film contains never-before-seen footage of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu being interrogated by police, which led to his indictment in November of 2019 on corruption charges. Director Alexis Bloom and producer Alex Gibney went ahead with the premieres after an Israeli court turned down a request to place an injunction on distribution of the film in Canada, though Israeli law prohibits the use of the unauthorized video. Now, talking about the film, The Bibi Files unveils leaked footage of the police questioning Netanyahu and his family, friends, staffers, as well as a former Israeli finance minister. It connects the dots, offering up pieces of the puzzle, examining them and fitting them into the big West Asia political jigsaw. Netanyahu's corruption trial, which is still ongoing, involves 3 cases listed as 1,000, 2,000 and 4,000. Case 1,000 involves bribery and breach of trust over exorbitant gifts to Netanyahu and his wife by Israeli Hollywood billionaire Amnon Milchan and Australian tycoon James Packer in return for alleged political favours. Case 2000 involves negotiating in favour of the owner of Israeli Daily against a rival newspaper, allegedly in exchange for favourable coverage. Case 4000 also involves alleged bribery and breach of trust over a reciprocal deal for positive media coverage, this time with the then owner of the popular Walla news site.
הממשלה תאשר היום תוספת של למעלה מ-120 בעלות כוללת של 600.
And with that, we are wrapping up this edition of Race to Power. Thanks for watching with me, Ananya Datta. Goodbye.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind. Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy. Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your reservation at WION.com.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the U.S.
And I will be here at the WION headquarters, getting you all the action from the universe of sport. All that you need to know about your favorite teams and players, right here.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of.
A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
Know more, understand better, think ahead. Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Get the facts, not the bombast. On the 26th of March, dynamic pricing, Baloch separatists, Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others scream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
Namaste. Hello, friends. We did Dr. Subhash Chandra show, popularly known as DSC show, for 4 years, from August 2014 to August 2018. 28 states of Bharat. Of course, we reached out to all of you in 190 countries across the world. The show was very successful. Each episode was being watched by almost 25 million people every week. For past 6 years, the demand of the show has never died down. People write to us, people ask for the show to restart again. Hence, we are beginning the show once again on All Z Network, also on WION, which is the global network channel from India. Again, thank you for your love and affection. See you soon at Subhash Chandra Show.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Fine Print. My name is Mohammed Saleh, and let's start this broadcast by taking a quick look at what is making headlines at this hour. The American Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has said that Iran has sent short-range missiles to Russia that are expected to be used against Ukraine within a span of a week, as he announced a joint solidarity trip to Kiev with his British counterpart. Germany, France and